What's poppin', everybody? Saberwolf94. I know I've said there's probably no set that can top Champion Road from the Sun and Moon era, but if there's one set that comes close, is this. Carries me of the wrecked sky, and it's basically going to be Celestial Storm when it's released in August for our Western release. They're going to combine the sets anyway. I'm pretty sure I read that indeed, yeah, they're going to mix Charisma of the Wrecked Sky. Man, I can't talk. Charisma of the Wrecked Sky, right? And Champions Road. Now, I'm not sure if they're going to mix all of the Champions Road with this, but it is going to be a big 160 card English set. So they're probably going to have most of the cards there. Probably most of or all of the third generation cards in Champions Road. But anyway, this set is pretty cool because it's a Hoenn set for the regional sets that have started to come out since Ultra Prism. And of course, Hoenn, my favorite generation. This set has a lot of Pokemon, Pokemon that we've had in fucking uh, Champions Road 2. Like there's gonna be another Blaziken. There's gonna be 3 Blaziken cards just from these 2 sets. So yeah, a lot of Hoenn love, I suppose. Alright, so let's start with order. We got the Trigos here, and there's going to be 2 Trigos, 2 Torchics, and 2 Mudkips. They follow the same pattern. They have the little ones here that have low HP, like this one only has 50 HP, but it has powerful attack, Sleep Poison. Opponent's active Pokemon is Asleep and Poison. Usually you don't see this types of attacks on basic Pokemon that can still evolve. Usually it would be like you flip a coin and if heads it's poisoned, shit like this. But it is auto sleep and poison, and this one that has 70 HP just doesn't have any special attack. It's just smack and tail whap, 10 and 20 attack. But I still feel like the ones with more HP are going to be the way to go. Like for example, I think I would run this one for 70 HP, only 1 retreat. So good shit. We get 1 Grovyle. I know it doesn't do anything. Or actually, I think it can do a little bit more damage. Yeah, it can do 60 for 1 if you flip heads. Otherwise, it's just 20. But of course, the last guy of the line, the main Pokemon that matters if it's good, is Sebatal here. And this is a pretty cool Pokemon. Nature Power is a pretty time-sensitive ability, kind of like the ones that we had during the Plasma days, where they countered Team Plasma Pokemon and what have you, certain Pokemon that get released that are time-sensitive. They just counter something for as long as it's popular. And it basically does the same thing. In Nature Power, as long as this Pokemon is in play, all of your Pokemon with energy attached will not receive damage from your opponent's Ultra Beast attacks. Now, this covers a lot of ground. The best decks are probably going to be Buzzwole GX, and Buzzwole, the basic Buzzwole is pretty good too. And if it's not that, in my opinion, it's probably going to be the new Rate Eels, the Malamar, Ultra Necrozma GX deck. Now, all those guys are Ultra Beasts, and there's so many other good basic Ultra Beast cards and Ultra Beast GX Pokemon. So this covers a lot of ground. Just being able to stun those entire decks like Buzzwole is probably more than enough to make this a good anti-meta Pokemon. And it's not just like it just protects itself. It has a pretty widespread effect, so even things like Guzma can't really fuck with it. It's just any of your Pokemon that has energy on it, it's immune. So that's really not bad. And the other good thing that it has that I suppose kind of makes it worthwhile even later on if Ultra Beasts aren't popular is Powerful Storm. This attack does 20 damage for each energy attached to all of your Pokemon times the amount of energies to all of your Pokemon. Yeah, so it's pretty good. Have a bunch of energies out, it's times 20, it's going to add up. So let's say you have 5 energies in play, it's going to do 100 for 1. Pretty busted if you ask me. And you go with more than that, it's pretty powerful. So this might be a good little stage 2 deck that's going to see play. Counters Ultra Beasts, and he's actually a respectable attacker. It's not like his attack is shit. Now 140 HP is not bad, I suppose. It's not that bad. Since it only has 1 retreat, it's alright. It would have been better if it had free retreat, but since it's Sebatal, but it'll do. 140 is not exactly the standard anymore. It's probably 150. Now if it had Free Retreat, then it would have been fine. Usually Pokemon that have like Free Retreat like that are frailer. It's only fair, but it's still okay. You know, the attack is good, the ability is going to be good for sure. So it's a good first Pokemon. It might become a deck. Sceptile. Next up we got 2 C-Dots. Man, wow, still printing C-Dots with 40 HP. And then you got the one here with 60 HP. Can do Stampede 30. Looks pretty cool. C-Dot, one of the cutest, best designed Pokemon in my opinion. Cool design, simple but cool. And then we got Nuzleaf. I don't think, yeah, it doesn't do anything. But Shiftry GX is somebody. So, since this is a Hoenn set, I'm not that surprised Shiftry GX gets love. But he actually gets a lot more love than Ludicolo. I think it's a little bit unfair. Maybe. And, I mean, maybe I would have liked other GX Pokemon from Hoenn. But we get Shiftry GX. It's a pretty solid Pokemon. So it's a stage 2 guy, so it has 240 HP. So not bad, it's good enough. It's not 250, but it's good enough. And it's got 3 good attacks. Perplex, your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused, and it does 40 for 1. So it's a nice little fast attack, doing 1 for 40. And instant confusion, not bad. Extrasensory is probably going to be your main attack. It does 90 for 3, but if you have the same number of cards as your opponent, it's going to do 90 more damage. So that's basically, if you can pull the little gimmick off, it's going to do 180 for 3. And that's pretty powerful. Costless, basically. It's DC compatible too. You can't really ask for much better for an effect like this. Shiftry always gets these attacks that if you have the same number of cards and shit in your opponent's hand. Now, an easy way to get the effect off is to use something like Judge. We're going to have that around. Got reprinted in Forbidden Light, I believe, or Ultra Prism. I don't remember, but we're still going to have that card around. So an easy way is to just use that. You disrupt the opponent. It's not like we're going to have N forever, too. So Judge might be a little bit good. Of course, you don't draw a lot of cards yourself, but if you want to get the plus for extrasensory, this is one of the best ways. There's other ways, of course, to make sure you have the same number of cards as your opponent. You can do combos. If you can pull the effect off consistently, it's a good attack. Judge is the easiest way, though, I can think of. And Pandemonium GX, I'm more than certain they're going to change that name, but hope not. Reminds me of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Field spell. Anyway, so this attack is pretty good. Some people say it's broken, it's poorly designed, but I'm going to explain what I think. So it's shuffle one of your opponent's Pokemon and all cards attached to it back into their deck. So the whole spin thing. Shiftry is also famous for this. From abilities, from attacks that do this. Well, mostly abilities, I would say, and powers. But yeah, it has this. Now, it doesn't say if your opponent only has one Pokemon out, you can't use the attack if they only have one active Pokemon. Now, other cards like Tapu Fini GX, they made sure that they put that condition in so that you don't get like cheap wins. But at the same time, that Pokemon is a basic Pokemon and it only needs 1 energy to do that attack. So this guy, since it requires 3 energy, and since it's a stage 2 Pokemon, and it's a GX attack, you know, it's not like you can do this all day. I think it might be fair to have this little broken shit. So I guess if you do things right and your opponent only has 1 Pokemon, you can indeed use this to get a win like that. So I think it might not be that bad. If they want to not include the limitation on this type of attack, a stage 2 Pokemon costs 3 energies, and it's a GX attack too, can only do this once, is alright, it should be good. It's still possible to get cheap wins with this, but hey, if you're going to use the GX attack, you might as well win. My philosophy is. Okay, so that's basically Shiftry GX. It's pretty good. I can't really find any faults with it. The True Retreat is not the best in the world, but it's not that terrible. Will this deck be good? Will Shiftry GX do some shit? We'll have to wait and see. It all depends if you can take advantage of Extrasensory. If you can easily take advantage of Extrasensory, with the choice band is at 210, so that knocks out a lot of significant things. It's DC compatible too. I don't see this guy having a lot of issues. It doesn't really have many limitations. Is that can you get it work? That's the thing. I don't find faults with his attacks. The stats are okay. He's just all around alright. Shiftry GX, another good grass Pokemon. Then we got Masquerain and Surskit. I'm pretty sure those don't do shit. I checked them out, so probably not going to waste time. It has a flip a coin attack. You flip like 4 coins or 3 coins. It does 40 times the number of heads anyway. So Volbit and Illumise. These cards basically work together. So Pheromone Catch with Volbeat. If during your previous turn your Illumise used Pheromone Sign, this attack does 100 more damage. So 120 for 1 on a basic Pokemon can be pretty good. And Illumise's attack is 1 for 20 with Instant Confusion. So I guess if you use your Dawn Wings Necrozma, and I guess we won't have Floatstone, but if you can get Free Retreat around the board and manage to switch around them, you can do 120 I guess, but I don't see that being anything. They've got low HP, and you still have to attack with this guy and do shitty damage, so that 120 that Volbit does isn't that hot. It's like you're doing on average 70 damage per turn. So not great I guess, but I suppose they work together fine. Then we got Tropius. It's not as good as the Plasma Blast Tropius. That might be the best Tropius card ever, or at least from the recent Tropius cards I guess. This one has 110 HP, not bad. Doesn't have a resistance though, which kind of sucks. And it's weak to fire too. The other one was weak to lightning. Did a bunch of cool stuff. Anyway, so this guy does find a friend. You search your deck for a Pokemon, you put it into your hand. So you don't put this shit on the bench. It's not called for family. There's so many other better ways to search Pokemon. I mean, even fucking Alolan Vulpix. You can grab 2 of any Pokemon costless. So I guess this guy has more HP. And Solar Beam is just a 70 attack for 3. So not really a really special Pokemon, generic Pokemon. Then we got Delmice, however you pronounce it. And this Pokemon is pretty good. It's one of these big basic Pokemon with 130 HP, even though it's not a legendary. It's got 2 solid attacks. With Giga Drain you do 30 for 2, and then you heal the damage you do. So of course with a Choice Band, with maybe you want to use the Lurantis promo, you can do all sorts of little mini combos, obvious combos, do damage and heal. And Powerful Spin, it's 130 for 3. You can't use that attack next turn. Oh no, actually you can't attack at all next turn, that's what it says. So, standard things is solid attacks, HP is good, retreat is big. It's Delmice, another solid grass Pokemon. Alright, and now is for Blaziken time. We've got 2 Torchics, like I've said. You got the one with 50 HP. And it doesn't do much. I mean, it can do 1 for 30, I guess, and you discard an energy. So maybe not bad, but 50 HP is pretty low. It does look better than this one, though. I guess this one is alright, the art with the flowers and shit. But this is the 70 HP one, and like I've said, you know, it has just generic attacks. The HP is the most important thing, though. Next, we got Blaziken. This is a worse Blaziken, I think, than the one from Champions Road. I don't remember its attack, though. Actually, no, it only has 1 attack. So this one maybe has a better attack on Flamethrower. You do 80 and you discard an energy. Maybe it can come up. Double Kick, not that good. Has 80 HP. It doesn't have Natural Cure, though. It looks pretty cool, though. I mean, look at that shit. Is that supposed to be like the sea, or is like a volcano or some shit? It looks pretty cool. I like the art, not gonna lie. One of the coolest I've seen, actually. Yeah, it reminds me of some cool shit. This Combustion is really cool. Okay. Wasn't expecting that. Anyway, now to business. Blaziken GX. That's right. So we get the Blaziken from that set, and we get another Blaziken here, Blaziken GX. So this card is pretty hot, no pun intended, but it's not perfect. So it's a stage 2 Pokemon, 240 HP. It's fine, has a better retreat than Shiftry with only 1. That's okay, I can dig that. And it's got 3 solid attacks. Slash, that's 60 for 2. Dragonite from Dragon Storm does like 70 for 1 grass or 1 lightning, something like that. So it's kind of a little bit, it outclasses it, I guess, but I suppose this guy can do some different shit. But I suppose you put a DC, it's like 1 for 60, so I guess it's not that bad. And then you can do specialty, whatever, weird name. They probably could change that 100% too. But yeah, this is a 210 fire attack with the typical double discard of fire energy. You discard 2 fire energy attached to this Pokemon, and yeah, it's 2 fire. It's not 2 anything. So you can't even, like, let's say, use the DC and then you can just discard it if you use the first attack. So kind of a shame here. Doesn't have synergy. That's why it kind of sucks, the first attack. I'd rather it did like maybe at least 1 for 50, let's say. Better. But anyway. Specialty is a good attack. 210, without even add-ons, you're already in that range when you knock out a lot of Stage 1 GX Pokemon that are significant. And you put a Choice Band or something else, and you're just basically knocking out almost anything. Only Stage 2 GX Pokemon are going to survive, and not even all of them, the ones that have 250 HP. So there's some good fire support coming. So Blaziken might be pretty good. Blaze Out GX, you discard 2 energy attached to your opponent's Pokemon. Okay, so that's what it does. So it's energy removal shit. It seems like a lot of these GX Pokemon just have some energy removal attack shit. Like Umbreon has this guy has this, Articuno has this, a bunch of other Pokemon, Salazzle has this. It's just like they don't know what to do with GX attacks. I really wish they had a Snipe, like the old Blaziken GX, and the best Blaziken cards actually. Just have a good like 150 Snipe, let's say. Some shit like that. I wish it just had something like 4 energy Snipe. You discard maybe an energy or 2, but it does 200 damage Snipe. It would have been perfect. Maybe broken, but it would have been fine if you ask me. So Blaziken GX, very, very good. Maybe you can try and use this with the Blaziken from Champions Road, but I really don't know. Blaziken, that guy that acts like Malamar or Electric Bronzong, it's a stage 2 Pokemon, so it's going to be slow. I'm not really sure how it's going to work out. Maybe because you only discard 2 energies, I guess eventually if you get 2 Blazikens out, maybe it'll work. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. It's definitely worthwhile to try though, maybe, because Metagross GX is also a stage 2 Pokemon, and that card is pretty okay. So yeah, maybe it'll work. Next we got Torkoal. This guy does some interesting shit. It's a 120 basic Pokemon, not bad. Like the concept art, Torkoal, cool shit. It's got Burning Whistle. You discard the top 4 cards of your deck. If any fire energy were discarded, you can attach them to your Pokemon any way you like. So high risk, high reward, I guess. If you stack cards in your deck, we do have ways to do that now. With Sableye from Champions Road, once again, and a bunch of other ways. Maybe you can do it. It's probably not worth it to just stack 1 fire energy, but you do damage too, I suppose. So maybe with a little luck, I guess maybe if you hit 2 fire energies, it's worth it. I don't really see myself favoring it. There's other ways to power up fire Pokemon, but I guess it's there. And Searing Flame, it does 80 for 3 with Instant Burn, so not bad, I guess, for a basic Pokemon. Attack. Okay, so this is Torkoal. Next we got Oricorio, and this one has Heat Blast, just a generic attack, okay. An Enchanted Salsa, switch your opponent's active Pokemon with one of their revenge Pokemon, and the new Pokemon is burned. So you can pull and burn something, like the old SP Blaziken. Could be good, but I guess because people can use their abilities, Pokemon can use their abilities even if they have status. It's not as good as back in the day, motherfucker. Alright, so next we got 2 Mudkips too. We got the first Mudkip with 60 HP. Pretty wacky art. Kinda simple art, but I guess that'll do. This one has less HP, but it has a good first attack with Aquarium. You search your deck for up to 3 water energy, put them into your hand. This might be handy, but I think I'd rather use this one. Not only does it look a million times cuter and cooler, better art, the 7 HP is the most important thing in my opinion. So yeah, and you might actually end up using this because the Swampert here is good. Oh yeah. So Marshtomp doesn't do much either, but I guess since it's my favorite middle stage evolution, I have to talk about it. Muddy Water, 10 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon, and I guess it does 20. So 30 for 2. Should have been better. Could have been better. Oh well. The main thing is Swampert. So this might end up being a very good Pokemon. Maybe. I'm going to say why it might not work out and why it might. So Swampert, my favorite starter, hands down. One of my favorite Pokemon. It gives a good rivalry to Salamence. This Pokemon has 160 HP, so he's good on the HP side. Retreat is 3, so I guess we can use Heavy Ball, so maybe it's not that bad. And I mean, we are going to lose Manaphy, so you won't get the free retreat shit for water, but we'll manage, I guess, free retreat. At least it's searchable with Heavy Ball, I guess. And the main good thing about this Pokemon is the ability, Power Draw. It's what everyone has, why everyone have put their eyes on this dude. Because it's your discard a card, draw 3 cards. So it's stronger than Zoroark GX's draw ability. But it's fair because this is a stage 2 Pokemon. And of course it's better than Empoleon's once from Dark Explorers. But those Pokemon are similar. That's why this Pokemon might end up being good. Is a stage 1, has a powerful ability with Power Draw. When you have this sort of thing, it guarantees consistency to your deck. So you can use this to dig for techs, dig for specific cards for your situation. And you guys know all the shit that Zoroark GX does. You can basically do almost the same shit with this guy. And Hydro Pump is a good attack. It's not cheap, but it's still a good attack. So it does 80 for 3, colorless, and it's going to do 20 more damage for each water energy. You know, your Hydro Pump shit. So basically, for 3 water energies, which you should put this on to attack, it means you're going to be doing 140 for 3. That's pretty fine. That's excellent. It's maybe slightly not as good as the ancient trait Swampert from Primal Clash, but I mean, I think that one does like 130 for 3, and then it gets better. So maybe if you just keep it to 3 energies, this guy's better. That one does 40 extra, but has lower base, so something like that. I don't remember. But it's still a very good attack. I mean, if you put 4 water energies, you're at 160, you know, with the choice band, you're at 190. You can just put a bunch of water energies and you can get one-hit knockouts even. So it's a good attack still. I mean, at the very least, you get 2-hit knockouts. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with this Pokemon. It's just I'm wondering if it's going to be fast enough for the format. That's the thing, because the ability is good, but you can't really attack quickly with it. I guess you can put a water energy in a DC maybe if you want to be a little bit faster, but then you're not really doing a lot of damage. You're doing 100, so that's probably not good. The benefit, of course, is Aqua Patch. We have Aqua Patch at least, so you can attempt to power this Pokemon this way. And I think we're going to have some good water support too. It's going to be coming in Dragonstorm, if I remember right. But the benefit of Dark Explorers and Empoleon, and that's why I mentioned it and compared it, is that it could attack with 1 energy and do a lot of damage if there were a lot of Pokemon out. So yeah, Stage 2 Pokemons these days, they just aren't GX. They really need to have a good ability, the HP needs to be as good as it can, and have a cheap attack, because anything else is just, they really have it rough because of the rare candy errata. It's just, since they're slow, they just have to be so perfect to work. This Pokemon is very good, Swampert. Art is nice too. I wonder what kind of area is this in the background. Interesting. But yeah, nothing really wrong with this Pokemon. It's just we'll have to wait and see if it works in the format. I mean, also if the Serpentard starts to see play, Obviously this guy is allergic to him. So, yeah. Okay. Spend enough time on you. So, okay, as my PC is glitching up, thank you. We got the Walmer and Wailord. I don't think this Wailmer does anything, but uh, it's the first Wailmer that has 120 HP. A basic Pokemon that can actually evolve. I mean, okay, we had Chansey, but that was sort of an exception. Chansey didn't always evolve. So this guy does 50, and you flip a coin until you get head, tails. You heal 50 damage for each heads. Alright. But the main Pokemon is Wailord. So this Pokemon breaks another record once again. A stage 1 Pokemon with 220 HP. The highest you're going to see. The attack is terrible though, as you would expect. It's 200 for 4. Impressive, but for each damage counter it's minus 40. It's not minus 10 like it says here. It's minus 40. And that's a lot. I mean, with only just 1, you're at 160. With 2, you're at 120. So, it's really shit. I would rather it did like less base damage and it just decreased by 10 maybe. But I guess if it's clean, then you do a lot of damage. It's not bad. Alright, next up we got the Clamperl evolution shit. Eel Pokemon. I love these Pokemon. They had just such a mystique in Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. We didn't know shit about them. Okay, as my fucking PC doesn't cooperate. Okay, you finally clicked. So great art in the bottom of the sea with the plant coral stuff and the lights and shit. Cool. Clamperl. So evolutionary advantage. If you go second, this Pokemon can evolve during your first turn. So good ass ability. Can come in handy if you play second. You open with this dude, you get him out. You can evolve quickly. Good shit. Okay, we'll take that. Next up we got Huntail and Gorebyss, like I've been saying. And this guy has Big Bite. Your opponent's active Pokemon can retreat during your opponent's next turn. 30 for 1. Alright, nothing we haven't seen before. And Dangerous Bite. If your opponent's active Pokemon is a basic Pokemon. 120 for 3. I would have rather it did more base damage and then do the extra shit, like do extra 40, because it means that if you're attacking an evolved Pokemon, you're doing a 40 for 3. That's terrible. So they kind of fucked up, in my opinion. They should have made it the reverse shit. Oh well. I mean, this Pokemon probably wouldn't be good anyway. So Gorebyss, what you got? You've got Free Retreat, but you've got 90 HP, and that sucks. This art is kind of shit too. Same for Huntail, now that I think about it. Oh well, a bunch of Gorebyss together. First time I've seen this. Are these guys supposed to be together? So many, anyway. So Gore Splash. During your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon won't receive damage from your opponent's evolution Pokemon. So I guess I do this little combo shit. Anti-basic Pokemon hate, and this guy is anti-evolution Pokemon hate. They probably won't be good. But, I mean, GX evolved Pokemon are more common than basic Pokemon, probably. But, I mean, I guess Boswell GX and fucking the Ultra Necrozma shit, they're changing that, so who knows. Won't be any good, though, anyway. Come on, come on. Got Love Disc. I don't remember if you're good, but we're gonna check you out. You have a little yarn art, if I'm not mistaken. Why the fuck is my PC glitching up so bad? Damn. So, yeah, it's the yarn art. Cool. I like that shit. Even game. Count the number of your opponent's Pokemon. You search your deck for that many basic Pokemon, you put them onto your bench. Pretty nice. Wow, so this might end up... I guess this has the potential to have a stronger Corfu family type of attack than Dunsparce, but at the same time it's not always reliable. Who knows though, maybe. Not bad, not bad. And Water Pulse, it doesn't really do shit. Not bad though, we've seen a lot worse Love Disc cards. So if my PC cooperates, fucking hell. Alright, now we got Regis. We do actually get the Regis in this set. I'm kind of impressed, to be honest. Usually these guys don't get almost any love. So since we got the ones in Crimson Invasion, I really didn't think there would be ones coming here, but I guess this is the Hoenn set, so I guess they kind of got lucky in a sense. So yeah, Ice Barrier. This is what this guy does. As long as this Pokemon, okay, it's not when it says it's in play here, but I know it has to be active from double checking before. So basically, as long as this Pokemon is active, your opponent can't play any stadium cards. So a stadium lock, dude. So stadiums are important, but they're probably not as important as supporters and items. So it's not like it's the greatest lock ability, but I guess it's there. If you combine it with some other shit, it can't be annoying. Does Icy Wind, just a 3 for 60 attack with auto sleep. It's not good. His HP is alright at 120. Not a very good Regice card. I mean, the ability is good. It's just, it's just meh. What I'm trying to say. The one from Crimson Invasion, if you use it with the other Regis, it's much better. Can do some more significant shit, more powerful lock shit. And I guess the other Regis aren't next to it, so we'll look at them later. But now we got Kyogre, and there's Groudon too. So this is cool, but they kind of disappoint me. The annoying thing is that all the basic Kyogre and Groudon cards they released, which aren't that many in like the recent gens, the ones in DP Legends Awakened weren't that bad all those years ago. But these ones, the ones that came in Primal Clash were absolute shit. Maybe Kyogre was a little bit good when we didn't have a bunch of other water attacks. You could use its 80 attack, but they were just mediocre at best. And these ones are kind of shit too. This one, maybe the first attack isn't bad. Actually, I'll take that back. I remember the first attack is good. It basically does 60 damage for 2 in the form of spread. So you pick 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon. It has that limitation though, which sucks. But it's going to do 30 to them, so that's 60 for 2. So maybe not bad. And Grand Wave, it does 120 for 3, and then you can attack next turn. So it's like the same shit that the Plasma Kyurem does, but Plasma Kyurem came out in black and white, motherfucker. And also that guy had much better retreat, even though it wasn't that much better, and support from the Plasma dudes. Plus, this is fucking Kyogre, I mean, come on. So, yeah, a little bit disappointing. Not terrible, it's just pretty generic, I guess. Alright. I guess they're never gonna make them good enough for me to actually want to use them in decks as a good Pokemon, not just because I like them. Okay, let's see Manectric. What the fuck do you do? What the fuck do you do if you load? Damn. So it can do Bold Start. If you go second, you may play this card from your hand when setting up your Pokemon. So I guess if you go second, it means you can open with this guy. And you can do 1 for 40. And you can put 2 energy from your hand, attach 2 energies from your hand to one of your bench Pokemon. So probably not as good as Talonflame that kind of does almost the same shit, albeit better than this Talonflame from Steam Siege. But I guess if people really want to use a Pokemon like this, they can. Since this guy's lightning, it can actually hit some things for weakness, I suppose. And I mean, I guess if you run the Electrike anyway, you can evolve too. I guess it's a stage 1, not a stage 2. Alright, interesting stuff. Seeing interesting stuff is good, instead of almost the same shit, even though we do see that. Next we got Plusle and Minun. Together, I bet my ass they work together again. But let's see. So great little art here. Everyone draw. Both players shuffle their hand into their deck, then draw a card for each of their bench Pokemon. So this can help your opponent. It can also screw your opponent over. I mean, I guess if you use this when you have a big bench, you can draw some shit. But there are better types of Pokemon that do this sort of thing, I believe. Alright, move your ass. Move your ass. Minun. Warm-Hearted Draw. So draw cards until you have 5 cards in your hand. Before drawing cards, you may discard any number of cards in your hand. So this is much better. It gives you the option to ditch, and then draw, or just draw, and it doesn't really help or disrupt the opponent. The second attack is the same. These guys look really cute as well together again. Okay, so this might be a little better actually. Maybe you want to use this as a starter Pokemon. Who knows? Got Lightning Oricorio. Rattling Pom-Pom. This attack does 30 damage to each Pokemon EX or GX in play. So a pretty big spread attack for GX and EX Pokemon. But it hits your guys too. Alright. Probably doesn't replace Tapu Koko, the regular one, but something. Oh my god, this is ridiculous. What the fuck is going on? Okay, we got Spoink and Grumpig. Do you do anything, Spoink? Nope. Alright. Grumpig gives us a little concept art. I'm not sure if we got this kind of art before on this Pokemon. I remember I have this art actually on a Grumpig Pog that I have, Pokemon Pog. Cool. So maybe not. So Mirror Step. If your opponent has a Pokemon of the same name as one of your Pokemon, does 80 for 1. That's it. Not impressive at all. Only one attack, nothing else. Why do they do this, man? It just seems like they release some Pokemon and they just have one attack when they have no business not having only one attack. HP is alright, I guess, but not gonna do shit. Why did they make some half-assed Pokemon? Oh well. Grumpig hasn't been good in ever, basically. And it'd be good if it was good for once. Since it's a psychic Pokemon, I kind of dig. And next we got Shuppet. Sticking out your tongue. Thanks, dude. Looks cool, though. Your opponent's active Pokemon is not confused. Okay, seen this before. A lot of Shuppet cards do this. And oh my fucking Banette. So this Pokemon has red eyes. Red eyes black dragon. Red eyes black chick. Red eyes deck. Yu-Gi-Oh shit. But anyway, what this guy does is once during your turn, when you play this card, to evolve basically, you can put a Pokemon from your opponent's discard pile to your opponent's bench. So it does this little disruption shit. And for each damage counter your opponent's Pokemon, you put a damage counter your opponent's Pokemon any way you like. So it's what it says for each damage counter. Yeah, so I guess they need to have some damage to sort of, you double the damage, I guess, and you can put it anywhere. So I guess if you have a lot of damage around, maybe it can be alright, but just alright. Pretty weird here at the bed and the stuff. Wow, kind of freaky actually. Alright, so we get a bunch of Deoxys cards too. I think all of them, or at least besides the normal one. We get the defensive one, we get the speed one. This one is the attacking one, if it loads and I see the fucking art. But what this guy does, it does Psychic. Does 20 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. That's fine, but I wish they made it a little better since older Pokemon had the same shit attack. And Power Blast, you do 3 for 120 and it flip a coin. If it tells you discard an energy, if not, you don't. So that's fine, that's a good attack too. Good stats, only one retreat. Good little Deoxys Psychic tech, I guess. We'll be losing the Hoopa from Steam Siege. I don't think anybody cared, but I did. In some decks I used that. So, should be a good replacement. Then we get the defensive one. Defensive Deoxys. Please, for fuck's sake, just move your ass. Man, maybe I should just reload my shit. Anyway, so during your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon receives 40 less damage from attacks. Okay, but doesn't do damage. And Psycho Screw, this attack's damage isn't affected by resistance. Not really that impressive. The other one is much better, the attacking one. Yeah, don't really transcend that well in the TCG, do they? Uh, better offensive attacks is better than defensive shit. But I guess that's in the games too, maybe. Okay, next up we got the speed one. Okay, this one loaded up quick. Good. You got Teleport Break. You switch with one of your bench Pokemon. And it does damage too, so maybe you can do the hit and switch shit with this guy. It's better than the other dudes, I guess, that do this. Then Tapu Fini and the little Mocha. This is a basic Pokemon, doesn't give 2 prizes. So nice. And Spear Dive, 50 damage snipe. Okay. So maybe this can be used to do the whole hit and switch thing. Hit and then promote a wall. We're not going to have float stones. We don't really have a lot of the great psychic support we used to. I mean, I guess we do have some other stuff now. But the damage is kind of low. And yeah, the most important thing is we don't have float stone. But maybe you can try it out. It's probably better than the Umbreon shit too, since this guy's basic. Meditate and Medicham. So Medicham does some interesting stuff too. So pretty nice artwork too. Doing some shit here. And got the mountains too. So Satori's Blow. Probably changed that too. But what this attack does is if this Pokemon has 30 HP or less, this attack's gonna do 170 damage for 2. That's pretty fucked up good. But this is a 90 HP Pokemon. It's probably gonna be dead in one hit. I mean, if it survives, then you're good. In Expanded, you can use things like Focus Sash, I guess. So you can do that. But then you can't use Spinning Attack. Spinning Attack does 90 for 2, not bad, and you do 20 damage to yourself. So I guess if you can protect yourself and do this a couple of times, then you can basically put yourself in the position to do the Satori's Blow shit. But it's very difficult. I mean, if you get damaged, you're probably dead. I guess Spinning King tries to help with that, but it means you need to get hit for like 50 damage or some shit and then do this and then use Satori's Blow. It's difficult. You really need to use something like Focus Sash. Other than that, if you just hope to get the damage on with your opponent and then get the plus, it probably never happen. Also, of course, your opponent is probably not going to be stupid enough to put you in that position. They'll make sure to kill this guy in one hit or just not put you in that position where you can do the extra damage. Obvious stuff. Nice little fighting Pokemon though. Next we got Baltoy and Claydol. Cool Baltoy concept art, even though it doesn't do shit. Got Claydol here. And I wish they just brought back the Claydol that had the draw shit. We draw a bunch of cards from Great Encounters. I can't believe I forgot the Pokepower's name. But of course you guys know what I'm talking about. But no, they're doing the whole sort of owner's champion thing again. They did this with Cynthia, and we had we had the Garchomp and the Lucario that kind of worked together, and they had shit to do with the Cynthia card as well as Cynthia supporter, and it's basically the same shit. In this case, we have our Claydol here with a Miracle Spin. It's going to do 40 damage for each Steven's Advice card in your discard pile. So, if you don't have any, it doesn't do shit, so that's bad. If you have 3, it's going to do 120 for 3. And if you have the maximum number, it does 160. But the chances of you using a card like that, we're going to look at it pretty soon. It's good, but it's not something you use all day. Like, let's say Cynthia, or maybe N. The chances of you having 4 of those guys in this power are slim to none. The only way is that if you make a deck dedicated to this guy, and then you use Battle Compressor and expand it. That's basically it. But I guess if you want to do like a Steven deck, like the Cynthia, Garchomp, Lucario deck, you can actually do this. there'll be the Metagross too. We'll look at it pretty soon. And the first attack is just a paralysis. I guess it's alright for 1 energy. Regirock, cool as all fuck. Art. Like a sort of clay art shit. So this guy might be a little bit better. And Enhanced Stomp. This Pokemon has a Pokemon tool. It's gonna do 40 for 1. That's pretty impressive. We're gonna lose Fury Belt, which would have been great on the Pokemon like this. But we still have Choice Band. Excuse me. And, you know, with, I guess we won't have strong energies too, but with all the fighting support and shit, you guys can realize you can do some good damage for 1 energy. And Hammer Arm does 100 for 3. You discard the top card of your opponent's deck too. So that's cool. Alright, drank a little bit of water there. My throat was fucking up on me. Anyway, but yeah, Regirock, Hammer Arm, solid. And first attack is solid too. Good little fighting Pokemon, 120 HP. Will it replace things like Buzzwole? Maybe actually. Really depends. Buzzwole is pretty good, the regular one. And it's an Ultra Beast too. So yeah, it has synergy with the cards they have. But for generic fighting decks, he's not bad, honestly. Okay. Next we got Minior. Pretend Star. Once during your turn, have room on your bench and this card in your hand. You may put this card as your active Pokemon and move your active Pokemon to the bench. So, can do some cool shit. Yeah, I remember I read this card. This can be handy in many situations. I can't really put my finger on it right now. I probably should. Let's see. But it's like it gives you the opportunity to switch when you would otherwise be kind of stuck. I mean, you still need to have room on your bench, but if you don't have like a way to switch and you really want to put a decoy up there, this is an easy way to do this with this guy. And then Swift does 30. Won't be affected by anything though, which kind of sucks, including weakness. Alright, Metagross time. Let's look at the Beldums first. Conductive Body. For each Beldum you have in play, this Pokemon retreat cost reduced by 1. That's good. But the sad thing is that this guy has 2 retreat. It's not like the Magnemite that has 1 in breakthrough. So that's not that good. So maybe this guy's better for the 70 HP, even though his retreat is big as fuck. Guess we can use Heavy Ball too though, which we'll probably need since Metagross always has a big ass retreat cost most of the time. Okay, and Mentang, you don't really do much shit either. Too bad, man. Okay, and Metagross. So this, you guys see it has Steven in the background too. Is your whole Cynthia shit like I've mentioned. What this guy does, its ability, as long as this Pokemon is in play, I believe it has to be active. That's actually the effect. I read from Pokebeach and Bulbapedia. Cerebi usually, not usually, but they do make a lot of errors, so I double check. But from what I understand, it has to be active. If not, that's even better. But the effect is basically your turn doesn't end if you use Steven's Decision, which is a supporter for Steven. That's in the set. We're going to look at it. And it's powerful. That's why it ends your turn. So when I read it, it's going to make sense. Actually, I'm going to go mention it now. But that's all it does. And Meteor Mash does 60. And during your next turn, it does 60 more. So if this guy sticks around, you can do 120 every turn. So on average, I guess, if you do 60 the first time, and then 120 the second time, it's 180, so that's 90 for 1. It's not necessarily bad, but I really wish it did more. Like, it did at least, like, 80 for 1 maybe. I mean, that would have been better. It's still okay. Maybe 80 is too much. Probably not, but let's say 70, just to be fair. I wish it did 70 instead of 60. But it's okay. 170 HP is fantastic. It's great. The stats are standard for a Steel Pokemon, a Metal Pokemon, Psychic Resistance, Fire Weakness. Retreat is big as fuck. The ability can be handy with Steven's Decision. I mean, if you play a Metagross deck, if you're gonna focus on Metagross, then yeah, the Steven's Advice becomes a broken card. Uh, it basically lets you grab 3 cards. We're gonna see it now. But this Pokemon is alright. Will it be as good as the Garchomp Lucario should, which didn't really do all that much anyway? Maybe. I wish it was a Metagross card that kinda could function on its own, do some cool shit. It bothers me that it only has 1 attack too. Doesn't have like another attack we can focus on maybe. I wish it had like a killer attack. Maybe you could combine this with the Metagross GX. That would have been awesome, man. But anyway, it's a nice card either way. So let me jump to the trainers and look at Steven. I kind of have to. Oh, we're clicking on the Flirt one too. Alright. It's not going to show him anyway. Okay, let me find the regular one, for fuck's sake. Alright. So, Steven's Decision. So, this card is cool. I wish it was just a generic, great draw card like the original Steven's Advice. But it'll do. When you play this card, your turn ends. But the effect is powerful. Search your deck for up to 3 cards, put them into your hand. Absolutely no drawback, besides that your turn ends. So, this is great, though, for decks that need to set up, that don't really attack in the beginning anyway. Energy acceleration decks that aim to bring out things like Magnezone, Emboar, Blastoise. Things that try to bring out the electrics like the Ray Eels. The new Malamar deck, of course. It gets a lot of power with Steven's Advice, man. I'm pretty sure they're going to use this. Now, at the same time, though, since your turn ends, it means that you can't grab the rare candy, all the pieces, and then evolve that turn. You have to do it next turn. So then maybe if your opponent uses N, I guess we won't have that around. But if he does something like that, messes you up, then you kind of just got the shit for nothing. When you play Skyla, you can use the card at least. But it definitely has its ups, of course. You grab 3 of any cards, it's powerful. I mean, you can just instantly grab like a Tepig, a rare candy, and an Emboar. If I'm using this in Raybor, you can basically grab an evolution chain like that for anything. It doesn't just have to be like that. So it's pretty powerful. I see this guy seeing play or it's going to be a great card, man, actually, when you think about it. Since everybody is just using Tapu Lele, trying to grab Brigitte first turn, do that kind of shit. During the first turn when you don't attack, or in the beginning maybe when you don't attack, you're setting up and shit, you basically use this, and then you just set up like that. You can't use the cards, but you're grabbing the cards. So he's quite powerful. I'm not super keen on the art here. I don't know, like the whole surrounding shit here, the border. It's kind of weird. Man, I might be crazy. Like, I think we've seen this in the Ultra Prism shit too. I don't know. Anyway, from Ultra Prism onwards, or maybe it's starting the Champions Road. But yeah, they're changing a little bit the card layout. For fuck's sake, I might be crazy. They might have done that already. I'm just talking out of my ass here. Anyway, it's alright though. It's alright. The sad thing is though, is that the Steven card from Ancient Origin, especially the Float one, is a billion times cooler. That card is cool as fuck, but the effect is kind of shit. They just made it like a shittier Skyla, and that was really sad. That's only kind of good maybe if you run an ability draw, maybe, but then, yeah, it is not good. Anyway, I guess since I'm on the trainers here, let's look at the rest of them. We'll get the Fisherman reprint. They decided to go with the old guy here instead of the young guy. Okay. Alright. One the young guy, but anyway. The one from Heart Gold, he was cool. Next we got How reprint. Looks pretty serious here. Draw 3 cards. So yeah, releasing this and then on the same shit, having fucking TV reporter and Bill's maintenance, it's just a complete waste, man. Completely outclassed them. Tate and Liza, I wish they just gave us Flannery or Norman or Winona they gave us in Roaring Sky, so maybe somebody else, maybe Roxanne. But I guess they're gonna give us these guys. Okay, alright, I don't hate them. You can pick one of the following effects. Both players shuffle their hand into their deck, draw 5 cards, and you switch your active Pokemon with your bench Pokemon. So this is the whole sort of flexible supporter card. It gives you 2 effects, but they won't be as top-notch. For example, this is like a weaker Cynthia, sort of like a weaker N. You draw 5, shuffle and draw 5. But you get also the option to use this as a switching card too. So it might not be that bad, actually. When we have a lack of supporters, this card might see play a little bit. Okay, got Lily reprint. Then we got Lizia, however you call her. Looks pretty nice. You can search your deck for 2 Prism cards, reveal them and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. So I'm not really impressed with this card when I first saw it on the Amino, and there's a guy there that always reviews cards. I read his review, and when I saw this there the first time, what I'm trying to say is, wasn't impressed. People were saying, oh, this card is cool, but think about this. Even if a deck runs a bunch of Prism cards, it's not like they're gonna be like 5 or even more. They're gonna be like at best 2, maybe 3 if there's even a deck that runs 3 Prism cards. So it's very inconsistent. You're basically running a card that searches only just 1 or 2 cards in your deck, and it's not even an item card. If it was like an item card shit, then fine, but because it's a supporter, it's harder too. So I don't know, I'm not really that impressed. I guess if a deck really runs a lot of Prism cards, then yeah, then it can't be powerful. But I don't know, man. And the Prism rule, actually, they kind of fucked it up. In the beginning, I thought that you can only use any sort of Prism card, only one. It was like an A-spec, but you can run a couple, they just can't be the same. So that kind of sucks. This is a major advantage for the Buzzhole deck again, because they can run the Prism sort of energy shit card, yeah. And then they've got the Diancie too, so yeah, that shit is unfair. Oh well, this is Lizzie. And we got the Commandment Shrine. This is for the Sun and Moon shit, I believe, or I could be wrong. Between turns, you put 1 damage card on each Pokemon GX and EX. So this is pretty good. Some good GX and EX hate there. And then we got the Sky Pillar. Cool shit. I mean, for me, this original Sky Pillar will always be the one in Ruby and Sapphire and Emerald, but I guess this one is pretty good too. Triangle shit, okay. From Oras. Each player's bench Pokemon doesn't receive damage or effects from each player's attacks. So it's kind of like the Mountain Stadium we had sets ago. It came out in Flashfire, I think. I guess if we don't get, since we won't have Mimes, okay. They reprint the DCE for fuck's sake. And let me just look at the rest of the shit. So where were we? This video is going to be long as fuck. So Registeel. Exoskeleton. This might be the best of the Regis actually, because blocks damage by 20. Then Silver Fist does 60 for 3, but if your opponent's active Pokemon has an ability, does 120. So the best Pokemon have abilities, so you're going to get the effect of quite a bit, I think. Maybe not always, but it's alright. With Exoskeleton, it's a good little tank either way. Nice little metal Pokemon. If we had special metal energies, it would have been even better, but oh well. Really cool as fuck art too. I like the background. It seems he's in the sea or some shit. Registeel. Motherfucker. Okay, next up we got Jirachi. A little bit disappointed with this guy. I know what it does. So with Star Wish, if you take this card from your prizes, basically, and you have space on your bench, you can use this ability. You put this Pokemon on your bench, and you draw another prize card. So this is, of course, broken if you pull this off. It's one of those game-breaking abilities. You can do some cheap stuff like this, get a cheap, easy prize, get a cheap win. You guys understand. But you have to draw this guy like that. If you don't, then the ability is like it doesn't exist. Now, I guess this guy has perfect synergy with fucking Gladion. Damn, but alright. And I guess maybe you can do some combos, set up your prize. As I know you can do shit like that. There's the Rotom Dex that does that shit too. If you want to do gimmick stuff, that's up to you. And try and do cheap stuff like that and win like that. Could be a legitimate strategy, I guess. And the other thing, Destruction Dream. This Pokemon is now asleep. At the end of your opponent's next turn, defending Pokemon will be knocked out. I don't know why it does 10 damage since you aim to do that, but I guess if they play around the effect, at least you do 10 damage. Why the fuck doesn't do more then? I mean, the HP is absolutely pathetic for a Prism Pokemon. I don't understand why the fuck they do this. It's supposed to be a Prism card. You can only have one. 80 HP is shit, man. It's not like the ability is so broken. It should have been something like when you play this down, you can grab an item, let's say. Or two items, actually. You can grab an item and an energy. Okay? So if you make it like some sort of Tapu Lele GX shit, then it's broken. So then, yeah, make it 80 HP. Like the original Jirachi EX. That became such a crucial card in the end. So, I wish they did something like that, but I guess they went with the gimmick lock shit with Star Wish, and the Structured Dream is kind of shitty too. It needs 3 energy too. Very, 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 very mediocre Prism card. Like, even though you can run this and Solgaleo Prism in your deck, since of the rule, I suppose, Solgaleo Prism is just so much better, if you ask me. Anyway, I guess since it's a generic card, you can use any energies. You can use it in other decks too. Oh well. And we got Celesteela, 140 HP basic Pokemon, strong. It's got Moonraker. Wow, Moonraker. Damn. My father actually runs a company with fans, and one of the models it's named after that. So this kind of it seems really cool for me. Oh, wow. Okay. So irrelevant. So this Moonraker attack needs 5 energy. It's quite big as fuck. This attack only requires 1 metal energy to use. If the total amount of prize card remaining is 6. Okay, I get it. So basically, you can actually, in the beginning, you can basically do a 160 attack for 1 energy, 1 metal energy for free. But, oh no, wait. It says the total amount of prize cards remaining. So it has to be for everybody. Wow, that's pretty... Okay, that's much more a limiting condition. Would have been better if you could actually like get a 1 free attack with 160, but maybe that would have been too broken. Okay. So I guess if you either have... I don't know, like you have 5 prizes and your opponent has 1, or you have 1 prize and your opponent has 5, or you both have like 3 each, or 2, 2 and 4. They need to be 6. You can do this for 1 metal energy. So I guess there's enough situations that maybe the effect can come up, and you can do this attack for free. But it's not super reliable, I guess. If you're going to run this card and hope to get that effect off to use it. I mean, if not, you need 5 energies to do 160. Now, 160 isn't actually shit, but for 5, might be a little too much. I don't know. Maybe it can work. In Magnezone, we can actually use Magnezone, yeah. So the weakness is different. It has a fighter resistance. It can be handy. 140 HP is good. So maybe it's good. I might even use it, actually. Kartana, super cool guy. Kamikaze. Yeah, they'll change this 100% to you. If your opponent has 6 prize cards remaining, this attack does 90 damage. So 90 damage more, or... it must be plus more. It can't be just 2. So it's going to do 130, I guess, for 2. And very limiting effect again. Your opponent needs to have 6 prizes. Fuck. So you need to do this like super quickly before your opponent can do some shit. 60 HP is fucking terrible, man. Doesn't even have free retreat. Calm the fuck on. If you're gonna have 60 HP. Anyway. Then we got one of the newer guys, Stakataka GX. Yeah, this Pokemon actually, this Ultra Beast is super cool if you ask me. Regrettably, or maybe not so regrettably actually, I didn't play Ultra Sun and Moon in the end, but this guy's pretty cool. The other Ultra Beast is pretty cool too. The little planet ball thing. Anyway, so Ultra Wall, all of your Ultra Beasts in play receive 10 less damage from your opponent's Pokemon. Busted. Yeah, I remember I read this card. So this ability stacks. So Buzzwole GX gets even more options than what he already has. You can actually play a bunch of these, make that guy a tank, and make it even harder to take out. All of the Ultra Beasts can benefit, of course. This guy can benefit from his own effect. It is busted, man. Ultra Beasts are powerful with all the stuff they have. It's like the new Team Plasma shit, I guess. Gigadon Stump does solid 120, okay. It's not 130 like other Pokemon, but it's still solid when you have a one powerful ability like this. And Assembly GX is going to do 50 damage plus 50 damage more for each prize card you have taken. So it does base 50 damage, so it's not like Salazzle GX. And for each prize card you took, it's going to do more. So if you took at least 2, it's going to do 150. If you took 3, then it does 200 for 3. So it's roughly, I guess, perhaps the same. No, I think it's a little better than Salazzle's attack. But then again, this is a GX attack. Also costs more. But it's a basic Pokemon. It's very good. This is a very good Pokemon for sure. Ultra Beasts are going to run this guy, are going to love this guy, and I see this card seeing a lot of play. Altaria GX. Another very good card. Yeah, this set is rich with significant cards, I feel like. That just really adds something to the metagame. This is a Stage 1 GX Pokemon with 200 HP. Got Bright Tone. During your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon will receive damage from your opponent's Pokemon GX or Pokemon EX. So this is the main attack, yeah, as I remember. You do only 50 damage for 2 energies, but you're going to be immune from GX and EX Pokemon. And it's not like this is an ability that you can just negate and shit, this is an attack. So your opponent really has the Guzma to play around this. This sort of effect can be very powerful. We've seen this from cards like Regice, from Ancient Origins, the Jolteon EX, Glaceon EX, Jolteon EX, not Jolteon GX. Did I say Jolteon GX? Anyway, it can be something. It's not always going to be relevant, but it can be something. And in this case, it covers a lot of ground. It's not just basic or evolved Pokemon. GX or EX Pokemon covers a lot of significant ground. Your opponent's main shit might not work. For other generic attacks, as Sonic Edge does 110 for 3, and it's not affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. So you can even play around safeguard Pokemon like Alolan Ninetales, so that's good. Now, of course, it needs a water and a fairy energy, so that's one of the downsides of Dragon Pokemon. But at least it's a nice effect, I suppose. And Euphoria GX, they might change that name too. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now asleep. Heal all damage from each of your Pokemon. So, basically 2 kind of, I guess, mini useful effects in one. You put your opponent's Pokemon asleep, that can be handy. In addition, it heals all your guys. So, it's not a bad GX attack on stage 1. Omni 1 Retreat, the HP is okay at 200. It's a nice little Pokemon. Can do some shit. It might be a great tech too. Like Sceptile. An anti-meta kind of deck. Very good. Of course, there's going to be some good Dragon support as well. You can use actually the other Altaria too that boosts damage when that comes out. So this can be kind of a legit deck actually. So many possibilities. Yeah, the TCG is in a great position right now these days with the Sun and Moon era. Alright, and now for hype. In addition to Salamence GX, we get another regular Salamence, which kind of pisses me off, but let's look at the Bagons. They're dragons too. Wish I would call this but I guess it's only me. Shelgon. If it has any damage counters on, it's 80 for 2. Alright. This is some little yarn art too. Cool. I dig that. Salamence. So, what they always do with fucking Salamence cards is like they make sure to make them like, if they don't make them completely terrible, they just make half of the card solid and then the rest of the card shit, so that it becomes meh and then it ends up not doing shit. So this Pokemon, 150 HP is standard, is okay, but it's not that good when you consider that the Roaring Skies one had 160 HP and the Plasma Blast one had 150 HP too. So I wish it was at least 160. I mean, fuck. Metagross GX has 170 HP. And Salamence always has more HP than Metagross, usually. Excuse me, had to do it. Yeah. Excuse me. But what this Pokemon does is Dragon Wind. That's the great thing it does. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is an active Pokemon, you may switch your opponent's active Pokemon with one of their bench Pokemon. So it's a Pokemon catcher, Bloodthirsty Eyes from Lycanroc. Instantly, if this Pokemon is active, you can do this every turn. No questions asked, instantly. You pick what you want to pull. So that's extremely powerful, very fitting for Salamence, and is like Intimidate style shit. So, what kind of attack you get with this sort of broken ability? Dragon Claw, 100 for 4. That's fucking shit, man. The fucking Plasma Blast Salamence that came all the way in 2013, I think it was the year, Plasma Blast. That Salamence looks cool as fuck, but that guy did 100 for 4 back then, and that was actually shit too. It didn't do anything, and it actually had an additional effect, like that guy did 100, and it also discarded Stadium. You had the option to discard Stadium too, I think, something like that. So this guy does just 100, no other effect, and it's such a newer card. It's shit, man. It's not good. You can get, I guess, 2-hit knockouts, maybe, but it's super mediocre. I mean, you guys are gonna say, well, you know, you motherfuckers get Salamence GX too, that guy's good. Yeah, okay, maybe a little bit. But they make a Salamence, regular Salamence, they just fucked it up again. Dragon Wind is great, but this isn't good. Dragon Claw is a shit attack, man. Fuck me. And honestly, Salamence is one of those Pokemon that they actually do get prints. It's not like other Pokemon where they just rarely give it prints. It does actually get frequent prints. The creators must love it, but they just make it shit always, man. Make it mediocre, I guess, not shit. Okay, Salamence. Here you are. Next we got Latias and Latios Prism. This card's kind of pissed me off too. With lower HP, this guy has 130. Latias is a girl. Dream Mist. It's a nice little attack though. Attach a basic energy from your discard pile to one of your bench Dragon Pokemon, and you do 30 for 1. So it's your energy acceleration attacker dude, but you can only have one, so it's not going to be consistent. I guess it's alright though. You have a bunch of other guys like Drampa, they're going to do a similar shit. And then Latios, this guy might even be worse. Or, actually no. This attack does 50 damage for each Dragon Evolution Pokemon you have in play. Okay, so I remember his attack being different. But Dragon Evolution Pokemon you have in play, wow. So I guess if you have 2, you do 100 for 2. If you have more, you do more, but it's no easy fit. And it's not really that insane damage anyway. But I guess he might be good. Okay, so now for the main thing. I should have saved my energy and looked at this card first, actually. Rayquaza GX. Alright, so let me just say, this card is definitely good. This card is definitely good. When I read it, I knew that, okay, this card is is good. It's not a useless card. It needs a little setup, but it's good. But I really didn't envision Rayquaza GX coming the way it did. I was hoping it would come as a colorless Pokemon for once. I knew it was unlikely, but at the very least I knew, okay, that probably won't happen. But we're probably going to get a good Rayquaza GX that acts like Salamence EX, that acts like a Rayquaza EX, discarding a bunch of energies, killing everything, and it's going to be hopefully even better than Ultra Necrozma GX. And Raybor and all these sorts of decks of mine are going to have a new life. But it's a completely different type of Pokemon. And I guess you could say, yeah, they don't have to do the same shit all the time just for me. But I was a little bit disappointed. The art is pretty good. I kind of dig it though. At first I was like, oh fuck, I don't dig this at all. But now I kind of dig it. It's going to play differently, but it should still be pretty cool. I like it. We can do a lot of neat stuff with it. So its stats are pretty shit though. That's for definite. It has 180 HP. It should have had 190 if you ask me. If it's going to have a ridiculous free retreat cost. And if it's going to have 180 HP, it should have had at least one retreat. That's just me. Anyway. So Gare Surfing is one of the main things, I guess. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to your bench, you can discard 3 cards and then attach a basic energy from your discard pile to this Pokemon. Now, just to clarify, you don't discard the top cards of your deck and pick an energy from those. No, this is a cost to get an energy from the discard pile. So if you already have an energy there, or if you get an energy from the discarding, it's fine. You can still attach it. So that's a pretty nasty effect though. You lose 3 energies. Now, of course, there's ways we can arrange our cards with the Sableye from Champions Road, a bunch of other cards that are going to be coming out. You can do combos and help this card, sort of you kind of minimize the damage and get the plus sort of thing. But at the same time, you do lose resources, and you probably might always lose 3 cards either way, whether you grab an energy or you have already an energy like that. Now in Expanded, this deck is much stronger because we have Battle Compressor. You can make this probably a sort of turbo deck. You use Battle Compressor, you use Skyfield, you play a bunch of these, you fill your bench, you power up the Sky, and you can take full advantage of Dragon Break. This is basically this guy's flagship attack, and it's powerful. It does 30 damage for each grass and lightning energy attached to this Pokemon. So, just to clarify, I also I don't really like the fact that this guy works with lightning and grass. Come on, Rayquaza works with fire and lightning, or with, maybe, did it ever work with water? Some other combinations, but not fucking grass, man. I mean, I guess it's better than other energies, alright. But, yeah, for each grass and lightning. So, if you have 6 of these around, you do 180. If you have 3, you do 90 for 3. So if you just have 3 on this guy to attack, you do a solid, I guess, 90 for 3. That's not that great, but it's solid. If you have more than that, it adds up. With 6 and a choice band, you can do 110. You knock out a lot of GX Pokemon. If you go over that, then it's strong. So this is where your ability helps. We won't have Max Elixir, but that naturally helps too. So this is why I say an Expanded is probably going to be much more broken, but it can work with Standard. There's a lot of Dragon support coming. We have a lot of cards from Champions Road that I think can help, mainly Sableye. That's the only thing that comes to mind, maybe. I could be wrong, but from what I remember, his effect can help. And it kind of acts a little bit like the Gardevoir, Mega Gardevoir EX. You want to grab a lot of energies around, and if you have a bunch, you kill anything in one hit. Since you're going to have it on other Pokemon, it's not everything on him, so you're not really risking losing your Pokemon and losing all the energies. It's that kind of shit. Plays differently like the Rayquaza SEX and all that stuff, but it's still the kind of combo where you can get into a position where you want to get one-hit knockouts, you get one-hit knockouts, and that's the best scenario. So definitely good. And Tempest GX, it's a pretty extreme attack, but it can be handy. You discard your hand and then you draw 10. So it's an extreme Juniper Sycamore for only 1 energy. This might be something. I guess it has synergy with you discarding energies too from your hand. I mean, if you already attack, then you already played one guy down. So I don't know. It's a nice little GX support attack, I suppose, but I would have rather maybe have something else. I guess it helps for consistency. Weak to Fairy, don't dig that. I don't like it that it's a 3 retreat Pokemon with only 180 HP. So there's a lot of stuff I don't like, but there's a lot of good, of course, and I'm sure it's going to see play. Might even end up being a top deck, actually. If people find the right engines and the right way to make it work, it can become unstoppable, of course, like Rayquaza cards become. You kill anything, becomes unstoppable, and then it becomes a top deck. Pretty typical for Rayquaza. It's not that surprising, really. We'll have to wait and see. So I'm not super satisfied with it, but I guess it's not as mediocre as I thought in the beginning. Like I said, though, it does have a lot of annoying things. I don't want to discard energies from my deck doing this thing. It's just that the type of deck that it has, it's not really maybe my deck. Who knows, though? I might change my mind. It's just a different type of deck, actually. It's not that I hate it. I mean, Darkrai Turbo is kind of similar, that you go extreme, you lose everything to bring a bunch of energies out and shit. Oh well. Because we got Pelipper. Doesn't really do shit. Discard a fire energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. Pretty specific. I think we might have to skim some cards because I spent a lot of time on other cards. But this guy, what the fuck do you do? 30 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon with any damage. Okay, it does 80 base too, so maybe you can spread the damage. Heavy impact is shit. We got Delcatty and Skitty. Delcatty does do some shit. We got Friend Search. Once during your turn, when you evolve into this dude, you can grab 2 supporter cards from your disc pile, put them into your hand. Nice little recovery. So if you don't have VS Seeker, this card actually might see play. Might become something. Because it's a stage 1, it's not that difficult. We got the Swablu here. Looked at Altaria and shit. So I guess we're just gonna look at the items now. Got Pinch Potion. If your Pokemon has 30 HP or less, it does 100. You heal 120 damage. I think it had a different name, not Pinch Potion, like Emergency Potion, something like that. It looks like a hell of a drug from this picture, like some sort of medicine and shit, but I guess it is a potion. Anyway, kind of a specific limitation. Max Potion is still probably better, but maybe it can come up. We get the Acrobike reprint. That's nice. Ultra Ball, Rare Candy. Acrobike is actually a card that is definitely going to see play because it's your draw card basically. You discard a card, you draw a card. So it fulfills a lot of roles. So I see this card starting to see play again. We'll get some good reprints, some shit reprints in Pokemon Catcher. The DC, I mentioned that Choice Band. We got Rainbow Brush. What do? You search your deck for a basic energy, and then, yeah, you switch it with one of your energies on your Pokemon. Then you shuffle the energy back to the deck. So I'm sure this has some implications, but it's definitely shittier than Professor Letter. And then we got Hustle Belt. The remaining HP of the Pokemon this card is attack is 30 or less. Has damage counters on it. Is increased by 60. So, see if it has 30 less. 30 or less and has damage. Yeah, so basically it can't be like a 30 HP Pokemon. But if it has 30 or less, then you do 60 extra. So this is incredible, but you have to use shit like Focus Sash. I mean, I guess maybe Pokemon that can survive GX Pokemon and shit can take advantage of this, but Choice Band is more consistent, so I don't know. But when it does work, if you time it right, like maybe if you don't play it immediately, you let your Pokemon get damaged and then you play this, kind of surprise your opponent, it can be very significant. X60 extra damage, it's going to kill a lot of things. Nice little art too. Reminds me of the belt in the Primeape Classic Pokemon episode. Anyway, from the little boxing tournament. But this might end up being a good card. It's definitely good. And I think I should probably wrap this up because this is going to be long as all fuck. We do get the secret rares, Acrobyte, Rainbow Brush, and House of Belt. And got the Rayquazas here and shit. How do you look actually? I never checked you out. Fuck, it's not even going to show. Anyway, so this set is really, really good. Has a lot of great stage 2 Pokemon, a lot of anti-meta Pokemon in Sceptile and in Altaria. Has some fucking support for the Ultra Beasts. They're gonna get even better and better. And a few good little Pokemon here that might be some good tier 2 shit like Metagross. Useful supporters in Steven, and brings back Fisherman 2, I guess. Maybe Lycia is good. People say, I don't know about her. But cool shit. This is of course the Hoenn set. It's great. It's been confirmed from what I read on Bulbapedia that they are gonna mix it with Champion Road. Probably not the whole set, but the majority of it. So that's great. Loving that. So yeah, could have been more perfect, but it could have been more worse too. I'm happy there's a good Salamence, there's a good Swampert card, a good Sceptile card, a good Blazion card. Salamence is kind of meh, but fuck, I don't know what to say. Maybe better than nothing, but that's not exactly right either. Then we get the Regis, we get Kyogre. I actually feel like I missed. There should be Groudon too. Oh yeah, there's Groudon. How the fuck did I even miss you? Crazy. But this is Groudon too. It does Wreck. If there's any Stadium card in play, it does 50 more damage. Then you discard Stadium, so 100 for 3. And then you do Ground Slash, 130 for 4. You discard only 1 energy. So nothing really groundbreaking, but I guess it's just a generic good legendary basic Pokemon with 130 HP. If you want to go the more energy, better attacks route instead of the cheap, faster route than Regirock and Buzzwole, then maybe this is your guy. But yeah, it's not really that impressive. They should have done better for both Kyogre and maybe even Groudon especially. Looks cool though too. Sad. Oh well. So yeah. Cool shit, even if it's not the coolest, I guess. So this is basically the set, guys. I could say some more shit, but I think it's enough rambling. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys subscribe. Leave a like. Share this with your friends.